two things you need to do are organize and speak with total honesty, clarity, and aggression. Those are the two things you need to do. Now, neither one of those things is easy. Complaining is easy. Watching television is easy. Eating with people you agree with and grousing is really easy. That's why those are the first things I do when I'm mad about something. I whine to my wife about it, or I lecture my dogs. All 4 of whom agree with me, by the way. I have the most right-wing spaniels in Maine. But none of those things change the outcome. You need to act, you need to speak, and you need to organize. And before you can do either one of those, you need to recognize the consequences, the stakes. It's not just about people doing things you disagree with. It's about the most fundamental question of all, which is, can you have children? Will they live in a world where they can afford to get married themselves and have children? And will those children live where you lived? Will they live within driving distance of your grave? Will the civilization that produced you continue? These are, I hate the word, but these are literally existential questions. Will the world that produced you continue to exist? And the answer is no. With bad leadership, it won't. Everything is at stake. And that's not a fundraising pitch. It's not one of those direct mail things you get, send us $20 or your grandchildren will die. It's the truth. It's the truth. If people in Michigan feel like they can't live here, then the odds are your children and grandchildren won't. And the life that you've so enjoyed and that you've made possible for them, working every day, will not continue. And you'll do what Americans for the last couple of generations have done. You'll just leave. You'll run away. You'll go to Florida. You'll move somewhere else. We got to move out of Detroit. It blows up in 1967, and like half the people who live there are like, that's it. We're moving to Macomb and Oakland counties. Which I get. I'm not judging at all. I mean, of course, I'm married to someone whose family did that. And I'm sure half the people in this audience had family who did that. But at a certain point, you wonder, can you keep running away? And at a certain point, is there anywhere to go? And the answer is no. And why should you? They turned the world that you grew up in, that you loved, that you contributed to, into something you don't recognize, and you're like, all right, I'm out? Really? Doesn't seem very American to me. And by the way, at this point, you're kind of out of options anyway. Yeah, DeSantis is, I think, a very good governor of Florida. I'm there a lot. And so that's an obvious destination for people. But he barely won his first election against like a crackhead. No, I'm serious, a meth head. Who was like a complete, not only lunatic, but fraud. He barely won. That was Florida. So I hope Florida stays reasonable forever. And I like to fish there, so I especially feel that way. But there's no guarantee it will. There's no guarantee that anything stays the same. And the only way to ensure that it does is to stay and fight for it with the knowledge that if you don't, you could lose it for real.